And, dear God, we're live. Hello and welcome back to the GCL News Podcast, episode number 5. I'm your host, PJ, and today I have on 2 guests instead of 1. We're trying out something new with 2 people you've seen before, GCL staff members Miles and, oh my God, we're not doing Miles anymore, Aidan, Aidan and Chris. Welcome to you both.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. So while you're watching, if anything comes up that you're confused about, have a question about, or want to add your own opinion, let them be known down in the comments, and we will be sure to address them in next week's podcast. So something a little bit new, we'll have a little forewarning here. We were receiving these reports from other news sites. So, just like kind of like a little warning here. News reported may not always be 100% accurate, especially when the information is still developing. If you want to learn more, have your own opinion about it, we have this exact script available on the blog site, medium.com/GCL Gaming, and all news links are included. But now we should get on to the news. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right, so loot boxes, which is something we love talking about here. Belgium has hit the forefront of defending the modern gamer. In a world filled, in a world filled with those who want to take advantage of the lowly and humble gamer, loot boxes have become a topic of hot debate. Something that I doubt is new to the viewer. In the classic situation, EA, perpetrator of the Battlefront 2 loot box fiasco, defends their loot boxes, calling it, quote, surprise mechanics, while another company similarly compares it to Kinder Eggs, if you guys know what those are. What I say to that is fuck off. I think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm fully on Belgium's side.
They're like Kinder Eggs. That was their backup.
Yeah, no, I don't know, because like they need something to like defend it. So they compare it to Kinder Eggs. Like you get like your Kinder Egg, it's like $1, and you can like get like a fun toy. That doesn't affect like anything.
This is where I see it. I see it like I think it's kind of stupid that Belgium's banning loot boxes, as long as those loot boxes are aesthetic only.
Wait, is this
or not
the
non-aesthetic?
country?
The whole country banning loot boxes.
Yeah,
so what I think is there should be legal loot boxes. There should be legal loot boxes that are aesthetic only. If they don't impact the game,
let me finish this here. So, declaring it within the same category as underage gambling, Belgium has decided not to allow such behavior by these gaming companies, and has actually outlawed loot boxes that could be paid with real world currency, in comparison to in-game currency. So, in-game currency are currency loot boxes, like loot boxes you can get with like coins you earn in the game. They're still allowed, but are frowned upon by the Belgian Parliament. So this response, not surprisingly, has been reportedly positive, and gamers are glad that they have been removed. But keep in mind that this data is reported by the actual lawmakers and not from anyone else. So there's a bias, but like I can't imagine that like anyone would be upset about that.
Well, here's an immediate problem though. Is like what happens with V-Bucks are in-game currency as well as real-world tradable, right? Or like you can buy V-Bucks with real-world value, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So where I see the problem is like already like if you have the battle pass, you can earn V-Bucks and whatnot, right? So you're earning those. So how do you make the distinction between like, oh, this is a currency that was won versus like this is a currency that was like, someone did something in order to obtain it.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I mean,
like a fiat currency.
Because you can also like, I think Fortnite is kind of in that category of where you spend money to buy in-game currency. But I think the biggest the biggest problem they have is the gambling aspect of it, where you buy the loot box and you're not 100% going to get something that you want. Especially when it affects like in-game stuff, just like the whole Battlefront 2 problem.
Yeah, with Darth Vader and whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was crack. Like that was by EA. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. So Belgium, they're at the forefront, defending the humble gamer.
I would not say, it's just like, to me this is just like, dog, like if you don't like loot boxes, like why buy them, right? I just feel like EA would recognize, hey, if no one's buying loot boxes, why would we have them? Things like this. I just
The
think
thing
like
is, like,
this is silly. This is
what
silly
people, what
overall.
people, I don't know, I think it's great. I mean, what people brought up is that, or what they brought up is that companies admit to people who spend like
Mm,
$1,000 a week or $5,000 a month, people who are not of age, because they're buying these loot
mm,
boxes. So
mm.
it's like, a younger person, underage gambling, like they don't have like the mindset,
Mm.
like, because it's like taking advantage of younger people, basically.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
That's their argument.
So did they not ban it for people that are like over 18?
No, I think they completely banned it. I think that it's just because a majority of the people that are doing this are underage.
Mm.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're saying, like, fuck it, like everything's gone.
That makes a bit more sense, but I'm still like a little like I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
I feel
well,
like banning everything, throwing it under the rug is like that's not the way it should be done. But you know,
yeah,
like the
I
law
mean,
had to.
I can
It's
understand.
like the gamers aren't liking what a game company is doing. So
Mhm.
instead of like the game company responding to what the gamers are saying, the law had to get involved in order to like pass a law to say like you can't have loot box. I don't know. I see that as a little strange, but I also see that as really, really, really exciting because it's like holy crap, the law is starting to regulate esports.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
no, I
that's kind
agree.
of
Like, it's actually like it's being recognized by the Belgian parliament. Like,
that's
the actual
awesome.
like parliament members are being like, we can't do this anymore. Like, we're like,
Gotta get it.
they're like taking money from children.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But let's move on to something a little bit, also, I mean, also political, but a little bit more so. The hashtag Me Too movement hits the video game industry, which I guess was a long time coming,
Mm,
because that's a new development, and now a bunch of cases are coming out. So they begun to start popping up within the gaming industry as female employees claim to being raped or sexually harassed by male coworkers. And so during the Women in Games European Conference, so Women in Games is like their organization. Um,
mm,
during their European conference, the CEO Marie Claire Izamin says she expected this and wants to keep the ball rolling, allowing for other women in the industry to feel comfortable and come forward. So I guess she expected that once one person started coming out, then there would be a number of
mm,
women coming out. But something interesting is that the first woman who came out, the guy denied it. And then the second one who came out was with the developer of a certain game. I don't remember which one it is, but something in like that darker. I don't know. But
mm.
he killed himself 4 days
Whoa.
after the accusations,
Whoa.
which is crazy. I mean, whether that's related or not, maybe it was just icing on the cake. I don't know, but
Holy
yeah. But
crap.
so yeah, I know. So, according to The Guardian, quote, what many delegates conceded was that allegations of abuse within games industry workplaces reflect a wider culture of sexist and misogynistic harassment in the video game playing community. Women in Games is currently working with research firm Brighter to expose the extent and severity of toxicity and gendered abuse within gaming. According to Brighter's Female Gamers Report 2019, quote, in another quote inside, last year we revealed that 1 in 3 female gamers has experienced abuse from their male counterparts. And unfortunately, this statistic has not improved 1 year on. Not surprisingly, the majority of this is happening online. Of the female gamers who had experienced abuse or discrimination, 31% had received verbal abuse from other male gamers while playing online multiplayer games. 33% had been sent inappropriate content or messages, and 14% had received threats of rape. Which,
That's
to
fucking
me,
crazy.
no, to me that is the most least surprising, like, data I've ever heard. Like, when you play, like, like back in, like, even now, I mean, back in the day, like, when you play Call of Duty, and like just the amount, like, the people you meet online, like, who feel like acceptable to like be racist and sexist just because they're like hiding behind a TV or what, like, whatever, just because like you can't physically see them. It's astounding. Like, everyone, like, half the people who are on there is just like screaming like the N word. And if there's like a girl like in a lobby, like, everyone's just like, oh, like, girl gamer. Like, I'm sure that aside from just that, they get messages all the time, like, saying some like terrible shit. You know,
Yeah.
bless you.
Damn. That's a bummer, dude.
It's a lot. I know. I mean, but again, I think that this problem can go both ways because it's still a political issue, and Instagram has new censorship policies where like if you say something misogynistic, they'll flag you. They'll say they won't flag you, but they'll be like, "Are you sure you want to post this?" Which is strange because it means that they're like listening to that.
Yeah.
Which is good and bad, I guess. But I think it's just a societal issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think like what you said earlier about how you weren't very surprised because definitely in game lobbies, I can definitely see this being extremely prevalent. Like the amount of abuse that like some random dude will say to like anyone that else has a mic. Essentially, anyone that can like hear you in these
Yeah.
game lobbies, people just like love spitting off random stuff. They die and they send a couple curse words your way, things like that. I definitely agree, but it is very it's very tough to hear like things like that, especially that you know, as more and more of these cases are coming to light, that we're seeing how like broad this is across like the entire like market. Every single
Hmm.
industry is dealing with this problem, and it's just like really really sad to like read that you know gaming and esports is another industry that just really needs to overcome a immense hurdle and really try
Yeah.
to get like implement in like good practices like you're saying like with what Instagram is doing.
Well, like I said, like it's the thing is like it's a societal issue over anything. I wouldn't peg it like just with, you know, like video games. I think that
Mm,
we have a lot of problems like in society with
Yeah. Video
with
games
misogyny and racism. Yeah, and
yeah.
like video games just makes it easier. It's like social media.
Mm,
And like social media is like a huge place for all that shit.
hmm I think a lot of these platforms allow for like exposure of what someone would do
Hmm. That's
if they
true.
can like be one step removed. That's how I see a lot of these platforms is like you said, it's like it's a tool that can be used for good and bad, and it's just really unfortunate that like so often we hear about all the negative and bad things that are occurring on like social media and gaming and whatnot in terms of
Hmm.
like the ability to communicate. People choose to use that ability to communicate with people across the world of different interests, of different cultures, of different passions, but they all share like an interest in gaming, and how like we still like to use our channels of communication for negativity.
Yeah, I mean, I like honestly playing like the pessimist. I don't know if like that will really ever change. I feel like that's just like a natural thing for humans. To be that kind of source of negativity when it's not up, like there's no consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people don't have consequences, like they do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, on a more political note, that's a shame, but yeah, I mean, it's the reality. I just thought it was interesting that it's this is something new to specifically the video game industry.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess this this hasn't really come to light for the video game industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Well, it's good that it's coming to light, but hopefully
definitely.
things can be done. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to GameStop, as GameStop closing their stores, which is not surprising in the slightest. As digital game purchases and streaming continue to skyrocket and dominate the video game industry, GameStop has found itself struggling to meet the sales that they once had done in previous years. It's not, it's not surprising. It's just as Blockbuster lost to Netflix and other streaming services like Hulu, GameStop is now also in trouble. But they have a plan in set. But we'll talk about that in a
What's their
second.
plan? Yeah,
Yeah, they,
yeah.
they got a plan. They
Tell
got
me
they
about
got a
this plan,
they got a little bit of
GameStop.
a plan.
You gotta
They got a plan
really,
to fix
you
their
gotta
shit.
really kick some ass if you want to get
Yeah.
out of this stuff. No, like I just like, especially with things like Google Stadia coming out and whatnot, and like cloud-based gaming. Like it's just
Hmm.
like dog. Like for example,
It's
my
all
good,
digitized now.
yeah, it's all digitized.
That's the future.
It's all digitized. Like me and two other of my buddies have been wanting to play Borderlands 3 with one another, right? Me and one of them got to hop on and play Borderlands 3 right away because we got it digitally for some reason. One of our other friends wanted the like physical copy, maybe because of like the cool, super deluxe edition, metal packaging, whatever, for whatever reason he wanted it. But it was just interesting because it was like, wow, like he had to wait like 4 or however many extra days in order to have the physical copy. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
I could have, pre-ordered it as soon as it hit the store, the digital store, and then pre-downloaded it so that the moment it was live, I was able to play it. It's like, and then it's like wherever my account is on, no matter what PS4 it's on or whatever it may be, like I still have access to Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I
Where
mean,
if you lose that disc, you're fucked.
I think like with like the whole like cloud gaming, like with the whole like digital, like digitizing like the whole entire industry, everything is going to be done through online transactions. That's essentially like the future. No one's really like in general like it's prehistoric almost to like go into the store and actually buy like a physical copy when, like you said, you can use the cloud when you can just like pay like a certain amount of money, like a small fee, and actually stream that game right to your console,
Yeah.
which is like a very soon to be future. And other than that, like as other stuff, like cryptocurrency becomes more, realistically put into games, people can just like use that. People can use their actually like cryptocurrency or like actual money to buy digital games, and then they have it immediately. There's no need for the middleman at GameStop. It's just like
Yeah.
Blockbuster was the middleman for movies.
I mean, honestly, the only way I could see GameStop essentially having a chance as the future keeps on happening would be essentially, trying to reposition themselves as some sort of like luxury brand. Like one of
Mm-hmm.
you was talking about like, or Aidan was talking about, one of your friends got the hard copy because it was like the ultra deluxe, whatever, whatever. So if GameStop was able to transition, make their stores more like the Apple store or something like that, and then,
Mm-hmm.
just have the super high quality stuff, then they might have a chance of surviving actually. Or even if they, tried to do some sort of thing like, how Borders, I think is it Borders or Barnes and Noble? What one of them? The
Mm-hmm.
bookstore that somehow is still around
I
despite
think it's Barnes and
Barnes and
Noble.
yeah,
Nobles,
Barnes
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and they've survived, I think, because they've created an atmosphere in their stores that people want to
Mm-hmm.
be in. People want to
Yeah.
go there, grab their Starbucks while they're in there, sit down, peruse some books. They've created an experience. So GameStop, I think, needs to start aiming in that direction.
That's actually pretty close to what GameStop is aiming to do with a lot of their
Really?
stores. Yeah. Let
That's
me.
amazing.
Yeah, Chris, that was pretty close actually.
Spot
Um,
on, buddy.
yeah, the
Spot
atmosphere.
on.
But so anyways, as sales continue to drop, there's been a 14.3% sales decline.
Wow.
Since I think last year or something. Of the 3,800 stores that GameStop operates, they are opting to close up to 200 by early 2020, which like I mean compared to 3,800, like it doesn't even
That's
seem too
not.
crazy. But I
That's
think
pretty
that
big
that's
though.
going to it is big, and I think it's going to continue going. But with the 41% sales decrease in consoles, which is a lot, which is a huge part of the revenue, GameStop is rightfully worried about these things, and they're worried about how things are going to continue playing out as things are getting digitized. But
Mhm.
Chris, like you were saying, this is something that wasn't even the article. This is something that I was reading up on. GameStop is attempting to create a Barnes and Noble like atmosphere where
What?
you go into the store and they have like games that you can play like for free, like you can like do testing games. I think they want to do like competitions. I'm sure you can get like food and drink there. It's something where you can go and test out games, and while you're there they offer the option for you to buy it, which is like kind of like the appeal for the for the
That's
uh
pretty
for the
Mm.
awesome,
person.
man.
Yeah, so I
Pretty
think I
awesome.
think
Mm.
I think one worry that, I mean, who knows like whether that'll work or not. I think a worry that with that, which is something that I think games should implement, is I feel like used to be a bigger thing, was demos. I used to
Mhm.
play so many like free
Yeah.
demos, but now like I don't. You can't play demos. Like you can play the open beta, but you have to pay for it. You have to you have to buy the game first. So I think what GameStop will offer is if you don't know if you want to get the new Call of Duty, you go into GameStop, you test it out, I guess, because they offer that. And then, while you're in there, they're like, hey, like buy the game, like
Buy
you're
our
right here,
stuff.
you might as well buy our stuff.
To me though, I would just be like, I'm just gonna go on like the PSN app and just like buy it from here. Like
Yeah,
to me, it's
no.
like I still go back to that digital copy because it's like, yeah, they can make the experience, but what happens when it's just like, dude, if you go into a Microsoft store, dude, I last time I went to a Microsoft store, there was literally probably like 4 to 5 kids, all younger, like 12 to 13, just playing Fortnite and whatnot. So it's like
Yeah.
those kids are simply using the merchandise without providing much value other than hey, we're Microsoft, we're cool, we'll let your kid play on our computers while no one else is using them type stuff. But how is GameStop going to make money off of offering demos? How does
I
that,
think
or how does that beat Best Buy? How does that beat like the
yeah, I mean,
competitors? Because it's like yes, I think where they could hit their mark is like they have to create the physical community aspect of gaming. They have to be the ones that are like, oh, there's a bunch of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or Melee competitions going down, or Mortal Kombat 11, or like things where you want people face to face next to each other. That's what GameStop needs to get
I
on.
just had an idea. I mean, what they could do is they could even do some cool like subscription thing. They've got GameStop like places all over the place, and it's essentially just like some nice lounge
Mm,
you can go to and
like
play
a
video
gym, like
games whenever you want. And they
video game
got
gym.
all the games. They got all the games that you don't even have. So you can go
Hmm.
there and you just pay
You
a
can play
monthly
old
fee
games.
to have access exactly like a gym membership. You go
wow.
in there, you sit down, it's all nice, you can buy drinks, buy food, whatever, and
Mm.
they've got every single game. So you don't have to buy all of them. You can just go in there and play whatever game.
Play whatever you want.
I think like something similar to that is like I think that they should honestly shut down like a lot of their stores. I think that they should make want for the stores. They shouldn't have a million stores. They should like subsidize to a bunch like a bunch of not like thousands, not like the amount they have right now, but have like big like gym
Mm,
like stuff. And it's like an appeal thing. Like you could do the membership where it's like a big venue, and they could even host like competitions there. They could do local competitions where people can rent that space out, or like you said, that's where
rent the
people can
space
go
out.
to. Yeah, that's where people can go to play old games, new games. They have all the games, or they can just provide a space where it's like they have a set of like professional like gaming equipment for anyone to come in and use their services essentially.
Yeah,
So I think that's what they should do. I think they should make it like a club kind of thing and have less stores, that are
yeah,
based just on selling.
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree. I think what would be really cool is like I think it is all about the experience for them. It's about renting it out. It's about also, wouldn't it be cool if there was a back room that was like perfect for VR or something like that, or something where it's like
Hmm.
we
Yeah.
we have the perfect VR room with all of the really expensive cutting edge VR gear.
Yeah.
You want to play the new, there's one really cool VR game that I've been looking at called Boneworks. You want to play the new Boneworks, try out the demo here, like
Is
here, try out the
Boneworks made by
closed.
Node?
Yeah, it's not made
It's
by Node,
made
but
it's the
they're
people from
partners.
Node.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, I used to watch them all the time.
yeah,
Boneworks
dude.
is tight. With
Boneworks
you can
looks
like throw the sword and
super
like
cool.
you can like summon it back to your hand.
Yeah, dude. Or just like really solid physics engines. So I'm saying
No,
like
they're
I
tight.
want I want to go to GameStop and I want to pay $10 to get in the door and play VR for an hour because I get to put on like the actual glove and my headset is super realistic and the immersion is just so powerful and so there. Like so I walk around and I put on the headset, I don't want to leave. Like that's how good the VR headset is. That's how good and well optimized everything is.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
No, I
maybe
mean,
for shooting games, you have your VR gloves on and you have a VR gun. And maybe they have some haptic gloves in suits. So you get hit in Boneworks and then
you can
you
feel
actually
it. Yeah.
feel like a little vibration where you get hit. Things like that, I think, would really put GameStop in a powerful position because they'd really be their name. It'd be like GameStop. You
Games.
stopped the
Yeah.
game.
I agree. That would be that. I think that would be a good move.
Yeah.
Aiden, you should just. All right, Aiden, I'm emailing the CEO of GameStop. We're gonna get you hired.
That'll be the pitch, hey man.
That was the pitch. That was the pitch right there.
You're called GameStop, so let's stop the game.
It's just the commercial. It's just you.
Hey guys. Also
Right,
check
but
out
yeah.
GCL.
A quick plug, but yeah. So we'll see what GameStop ends up doing. Let's see if they can move past this. Let's see if they can rise above this, or if they become the next Blockbuster. And ultimately fail. So we'll see. GameStop. We'll see how it goes.
Dude, the nice thing for GameStop is they know, like, they've seen all these examples of these old companies getting disrupted, and they're looking at their sales just going, so, like, the CEO right there, man, he's probably just sitting there thinking, like,
Probably shitting his pants.
yeah. But, like, yeah, I think they got to be aware. That's why they're trying to do this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
It's probably doing quite well, right? Plus, you got to think, GameStop must be doing something clever if they didn't die as quickly as Blockbuster did.
True. Yeah, they're still around.
They still have a lot of. I mean, I think there's
said streaming. It's streaming shows and streaming games hasn't fully really like come to life quite yet.
I think it was a price thing, honestly, because like with Netflix, you could pay a small fee that happened incrementally, then you don't even think about that. But at Blockbuster, you're paying a certain amount of price
subscription model.
For that, and there was like, of course, there was the Blockbuster card, but like, if you could sit at home and be a lazy piece of shit and like watch like 20 shows, like they Netflix created the binge.
Yeah,
which is fantastic. It's like the best thing that's ever happened.
You just keep on going. You just keep on clicking. You don't
All
even
right,
need to click, dude. The motherfucker.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
exactly. No, but let's move on. Okay. Here's some wacky and zany news. Sony is butthurt about the general public's misnaming of their quote cross button. Which
they call it the cross.
They because it's like it's not an X because it's like shapes. It's like triangle, square, circle, cross, like not X. But so according to a BBC News article titled "Sony shocks gamers with PlayStation revelation," which I literally have no idea if it's sarcasm or not. Quote: PlayStation gamers are up in arms after Sony revealed a little known fact about its popular home console. So in a poll posted on their own Twitter, 8% call it a quote cross button. 11%
that high.
Yeah, 8% call it a cross, right?
Why would you call it press the cross, press the cross? It's like no, smash cross.
Yeah, but 11%, which is 11% call it a quote, or not, like just a plus rotated 45 degrees button. Which is just stupid.
No,
it's
dude.
funny, but it's so stupid. They put that in knowing that people are just gonna be like, "Whoa, like, that's what I say."
Yeah, look like this. Yeah.
And then 81%, of course, call it the X button. And I literally don't I don't have I don't know what to say about that. Like, are they? I don't know why. Like, do you like? Were they really like that disconnected? Where like people like at Sony were like, yeah, like our cross button.
Like yeah. Maybe Xbox was like, you can't call it X. That's ours.
No, because Xbox actually posted a photo. They posted a photo and was like, it was like kind of like a wholesome photo. It was like a photo of like there was like a whole the PlayStation controller with the X, and then like the Xbox controller with the X, and then like Nintendo or whatever controller, and then like the keyboard with the X.
Yeah.
And they were like, like whatever, like agree, like we may fight or something, but like we all can agree on like the X button. And PlayStation was like, what the fuck, it's a cross. And everyone was like, no, it's not.
No way, dude. Xbox is like, hey man, extending a hand of like,
yeah,
we tussle, but like it's all good. Like we both got the same button. They're like, no, fuck you.
Yeah,
like,
PlayStation was like, what are you talking about? It's a cross, and everyone was like, no, it's not a cross.
But imagine how if you could like downvote Twitter comments. I like downvoted.
Oh my god,
a butthurt like Twitter. Ugh.
No, that tweet would be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. wacky, zany content.
Zany and wacky.
Fucking zany, bro.
Zany, wacky, zany.
Yeah, basically. All right, moving on to a little cryptocurrency news. Getting into the nitty gritty side of things. China has a new digital currency.
Wow.
So China, and that's a whole nation. It's not even like, yeah. So according to the International Business Times, a quote senior Chinese banking official, I didn't look into who that was, but it sounded kind of sketch. A senior Chinese banking official, I don't think that's actually sketch, but told a state-run media Friday that China is still planning to launch its very own cryptocurrency, and that it will be similar to Facebook's Libra. Yeah, it's interesting that they're like that. Like the Chinese government is comparing their own cryptocurrency to Facebook's Libra.
I mean, I think they actually, in the beginning, they decided that they were going to do this in response to it. You know, like they didn't want to get left behind or something. like, essentially, like they thought it was like some sort of national security threat. I think. But the interesting thing is, it's like, so you see like two responses. So you see like the Chinese government, who's like, okay, you know, this is a threat to our national security, so we're gonna do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then the United States government is instead like, okay, this is a threat to our national security. We're just gonna fucking outlaw it. But it's like, can't outlaw the Chinese government's ones. It's like,
that's true. So what I think what relates most directly to them. So well, first, some interesting things to note about the coin is that they claim that is most similar to Facebook Libra, and will be connected directly with the Chinese central currency, the yuan. I think that's how you pronounce it. But don't get it twisted. This will not be a conventional cryptocurrency because it will not be run on blockchain technology like Libra, if I'm not mistaken. Libra is going to be more centralized.
Yeah, Libra is very centralized, but
so
what's the point? That's nothing. There's nothing. What's the substance there? You have a digital currency. We already have digital currencies. Like, you know, like I don't. I'm a little confused. Like, where's the innovation other than like slapping the name? Oh, now our currency is a digital currency.
I think what the reason they're keeping it centralized, in my opinion, is so they can watch it more closely. Because when it's decentralized, they technically don't. It's not exactly fully within their control. They can't control every comes and goes of it. They want it to be like within their vision, within their ability to manipulate. While if it's decentralized, it's able to be used by other people, not the way that they would, like the Chinese government would want it. And I'm no political major, but China isn't exactly known for their friendly, free choice protests, stuff like that. They're a little bit more controlling than the United States is when it comes to
Well, what I think is kind of scary. Oh, sorry. No, you're good. What I think is kind of scary about this is like, so we already know China has they've got facial recognition and everything, and they've got like a point system for their citizens, right? They're essentially like keeping score of their citizens. Isn't that a thing?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's been activated yet, but I do remember like a year or two ago hearing about how a dating app, a popular online dating app in China was working with the government in order to create like a social credit program. Exactly, a social credit program, and like a lot of papers in response came out, like, well, what happens when this happens, and it's like social credit score systems aren't like, how can you program in for the things that aren't black and white, like the many shades of gray?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just pulled up a Business Insider article. It says China plans to rank all its citizens based on their social credit by 2020.
That's
so
weird.
Yeah, so basically, like, if you think about it, so if you think about that, right, it's like if you're doing shit that the Chinese government does not like, if you're protesting or you're stirring the pot in any sort of way, or you're just like someone that the Chinese government doesn't like, and your money is all on their digital currency that's within their control, that, at the press of a button, they could take away all your money. You can be zeroed.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty scary. Your credit
That is
score
pretty
is bad
scary.
enough, you lose your money.
And they'll have control of it because like I said, it's not going to be as decentralized.
Yeah.
It can be run by like a corporation. It's going to be run by the Chinese government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I do think that, like, Chris, like, I enjoy your thoughts on this one because it's, like you said, it's interesting to hear the response from China versus the United States, where China is immediate jumping towards, however innovative it was, they're jumping towards some sort of digital currency in order to replicate the capabilities that Libra has. And it's interesting, like you said, what happens when the Chinese government starts pairing this with other digital assets that it's been having and that it's been collecting on its citizens, whether that be like a social credit score program. So who knows? Is it going to be like you can get better loans or whatever, or maybe things are a little bit more lenient. Maybe your taxes are a little bit better if you have a better social credit score. So
I mean, even
it's definitely
things
like
like
interesting because they could pair
like
those together so easily.
yeah, and think about this too. Like, it's like, what if like there's like almost sort of like some sort of liquid interest rates sort of thing. So it's like if you've got a better score with the Chinese government, you're like, when you put money in your bank, you're earning more interest on what you've put in there if you've got a better score, and you're paying or you're getting less interest for the money that you're putting in there if you've got a bad score with with the Chinese government. And then it's just, I don't know, like there's all types of crap.
I mean, what's like the thing is, like, even if it, like, because there's clearly already distrust, with, like, Hong Kong themselves, they're trying to protest for democracy, whatever. There's clearly distrust with the government, and the problem is, like, even if, like, you were like, oh, like, I'm not going to use this, it's connected, like, directly with the Chinese central currency. It may, like, not even be optional to not have to utilize this digital currency, at all. I think you may end up having to, and then that brings up the whole scary thing where it's like connected to social, like, credit score. They are able to manipulate your account, by will.
That's sketch.
It's sketch,
That is mad
but
sketch.
they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing, but it's they know exactly what they're doing and who they're doing it for.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a lot of times. I mean, this is not just China. This is every government. Every government has. If you think about them like a business, it's like every business wants to make sure that its shareholders are going to be the most profitable, at least in C corp. So it's just like whoever's in control of the government wants to make sure that, like, the people in power are staying in power and continuing to doing well. So it's like a lot of times that can be done through listening and acting on what your constituents want. But what happens when it's like there's a little bit of contingency on, like, I can either take the up road here and, like, give my constituents a little bit more financial freedom, or I can kind of make this thing underneath this, like, haze. Oh, everyone's super interested in how cryptocurrencies empower people. We're gonna take this name, throw it on a currency that we've basically already been using and transacting with, but essentially just giving ourselves more power, giving ourselves power of, like, the trust in the system, so we can say, oh, the owner of this liquor store has been to many protests and is voicing his opinion and whatnot. Let's make it so his credit score goes down or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Just scary things are
it is scary with the possibilities that are opened when it comes to stuff like that. But I'm gonna end that one there because we got something even crazier. CryptoKitties.
Whoa. Oh my goodness.
You remember CryptoKitties?
I remember CryptoKitties. I remember what CryptoKitties was a boom of realization to the blockchain industry because it understood that our most powerful virtual machine at the time was just completely unprepared to support a global economy. And the idea that, I think it was around $250 million worth of Ethereum-based transactions absolutely shut down the market and caused it to stop to a grinding halt.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big point of realization where we all realized, holy crap, something as simple as digital cats can have $250,000 flow through its network. But it was also like, holy crap, $250,000 or $1 million flowing through our network around digital cats, shut it down. Like, how can this happen? We cannot support a global economy with trust and security if that is going to shut it down.
Well, we're not even talking about CryptoKitties here. It's just the creator actually of CryptoKitties, Dapper Labs. Yeah, so this so the creator of I guess it's just like that's a big name, so they use it in the article. Dapper Labs, the creator of CryptoKitties, excuse me, has partnered with Warner Music to raise $11 million in order to create a new blockchain called Flow.
Wow.
So David Packman from Venrock, another one of the people who are investing in this, quotes, Ethereum and pretty much every other layer. One smart contract platform is attempting to build scalable networks for transactions like payments. Decentralized gaming and things like crypto collectibles place different scaling requirements on blockchains that sharding fundamentally doesn't fix. So Dapper is building Flow to allow decentralized games to scale to tens of millions of users.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So and then the thing that is most exciting, I guess, about Flow is the composability. So essentially, developers are able to build and stack their own code. They're able to create their own code and stack it on top of pre-existing code that's already been created with Flow. And this allows for new and innovative products to be created over previous products to create, continue innovation, even if it's someone else's code. It just creates, perpetual innovation, I guess, with this blockchain.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really cool to see because, yeah, it's interesting because what happens when we want crypto collectible? I like that. I haven't heard anyone coin the term yet, but crypto collectibles. Yeah, crypto collectibles. I like that. But it's like,
I
yeah.
wonder if he coined it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
No, it's a big thing actually.
Really, I haven't heard of it.
Crypto
But
collectibles.
I really enjoy that name, one, and two. I think crypto collectibles is definitely a major industry because crypto collectibles extends beyond. I see crypto collectibles as being something that, for example, your house could be a crypto collectible, or the ownership.
So no. So maybe in the future, but crypto kitties are crypto collectibles.
Oh, so just purely digital.
It's digital
assets that aren't payment based.
that don't have exactly a function other than being
because they're a collectible. They're just
exactly, yeah. So it says it's and it's a digital asset like you said, but it's not currency. It's they're visualized as real life objects such as pets or avatars. What you're thinking about is crypto real estate.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so it's just like crypto collectibles. It's for example, the achievements you get on Xbox for playing.
Yeah, I guess you could just have a little avatar, like a
that's cool.
avatar or something. Yeah, so cool. It's I guess that it invites another, like CryptoKitties did. It invites another aspect to, especially and gaming too, because there are games I'm trying to think. I mean, Fortnite had their, they had their little animated pets like the dogs that you can put on your back and stuff.
That's real.
Yeah, I mean,
that's when it gets really cool. Is what happens when we can put every single one of Fortnite's skins, make it a crypto collectible. So it's oh damn, I have the original John Wick the Reaper skin from season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see how valuable it is, and
although there's gonna be a market
how
it
compares that. Exactly, but seeing how it compares on the market, how much would people be willing to pay you in exchange for the skin that you have?
Yeah, definitely. but yeah, so Flow is being run off Ethereum, just like CryptoKitties was.
Interesting.
And yeah, I'm not.
Wait,
That doesn't make much sense.
Wait.
I feel like
So
he's
trying
like
to solve scalability because he didn't
Wait,
like
hold on.
Ethereum, so he's running
Yeah,
on Ethereum.
so it's wait, hold on.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense. So he
No,
built
so
one
no,
of the
so
most
no,
successful Ethereum dApps.
No, so Ethereum, like it says, like whatever, Ethereum, pretty much every other layer one smart contract platform is attempting to build scalable networks for transaction like payments. It's like it's a similar thing where like they're trying to do this decentralized like transaction payments like they would do for crypto collectibles. You know, this is what Flow is trying to
Oh,
do.
I see what you're saying. It's saying they're taking a different approach.
I suppose. Yeah. But it talks about, and this is another quote. It says, Ethereum has been slowly evolving to meet growing demands for network capacity. At the same time, other blockchains with smart contract capabilities, such as Cadena, EOS, and Harmony, have emerged poised to scoop up users if Ethereum stumbles in its goal to become the world computer.
Hmm.
So I guess Flow is in the same area where they're in the same goal as Cadena, EOS, and Harmony, but they're the first one that emphasizes specifically collectibles.
Okay, I see. Interesting.
I guess it's sorry. That was I didn't. Yeah, I said that wrong about being run on Ethereum. It's in the same ballpark as Ethereum with
It's
the
a
intent.
smart contract first layer
Yeah,
platform.
yeah. It's with the intent of if Ethereum isn't able to keep up,
Mm-hmm.
these blockchains are going to be the ones that, like, literally quote, scoop up users if Ethereum stumbles.
That doesn't seem to be a great a great business plan.
I don't know.
We'll
I
get
think that
that's like what Chick-fil-A did when Popeyes released their new sandwich. They got like the spillover customers of people who like had to
yeah,
wait line.
yeah, that's true. I
But who
guess
knows? Who knows? Maybe it's a little bit more
maybe that's what they're
drastic
starting
than that.
at. They're
Yeah.
putting themselves out as original, like their starting point is being something that could essentially take over Ethereum in the future.
There's just
But
a lot of Ethereum killers out there.
yeah,
It's like who's gonna do it? Cardano.
Cardano.
Cardano. But it's like I don't know. There's a lot of like, oh, here's a crazy like, oh, we're not a
new
blockchain,
thing.
but we are a blockchain because we allow you to, shard your information in different places and talk to
Well, they're
different
clearly
nodes
using
on the network.
CryptoKitties as
Yeah.
like an interest thing. Like, oh, creator of CryptoKitties. Now there's a blockchain that
Mm,
also emphasizes crypto collectibles.
okay. Yeah.
But I do think that the composability is cool that they're able to do that.
No, I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. So moving on to Stanford graduates who have created a cryptocurrency social network.
Wow.
Yeah. So four graduate students. I think one was an anthropologist, two were computer scientists, and one was a business student. Um, they created their own cryptocurrency social network called the Pi Network. PI, like as like the mathematical, whatever. Access through a free app on the smartphone. The network aims to quote bring disintermediated finance to a wide audience.
Mm.
So, according to Cointelegraph and the Stanford Daily, Pi members vouch for each other as trustworthy. These interlocking security circles create a global trust graph showing
Whoa.
who can be trusted to record transactions. This approach allows users to contribute to crypto mining directly from their phone by leveraging their existing social connections.
Wow.
Hmm.
That is
And
very innovative.
and they just hit 500,000 users in 6 months.
What?
Dang, I'm gonna download that.
Users in 6 months. Yeah, Pi Network.
Dude, that's very smart.
I know.
They're literally that is so intelligent. The trust created through social connections, they're capturing that and using it to power their network.
Hmm.
That is intensely clever. Props to them.
Yeah, I
Holy
mean it's already gaining serious traction.
Do they have a coin or a token?
I don't believe so. Um, this hit half a year ago. You can check it out too.
Mm.
Um, this hit half a year ago. I think that the Pi Network. I really just think it's a social. It's just a social network. Uh, I don't think they have their own coin. Um, it's they're trying to facilitate decentralized payments, a payment network.
Okay, but they basically allow you to mine based off of your phone. That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, and I guess you can do it through trusted, what was it, security circles.
That's interesting. I wonder how that'll all play out, and if this is like, because to me that sounds like another layer of security. Maybe
Mm.
that's not the only layer of security, but to me that sounds like something that a system that already has you know proof of work or proof of stake adds this on as well in order to create a little bit more security to it.
As a real life
Like
comparison,
the slot leaders on Cardano, for example, would be elected by their security circles.
I haven't. I was meaning to get the app. I haven't yet. But
Mm-hmm.
the way I think of it, a really kind of surface level thing, is it's social security. It's like choose like it's like Yelp reviews.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on other people's he said she said.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like it's people are likely to be honest, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that of course like there's always human error. There's always the possibility of people lying, people doing things for their own benefit, but the majority of things on Yelp are people being honest, which
Mm-hmm.
is exactly what I think the Pi Network aims to do with their social circles, the security circles. I mean,
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds awesome. I'm gonna check it out for sure. It has
it's
my
cool.
attention.
It's innovative,
Yeah,
and
it
it
seems
hasn't really
very.
been seen. I feel like
Yeah, and do they have their own token or?
no, I
I
don't think
guess.
so.
Yeah, I
I
guess
can
that's what I
I'll
need to figure out.
yeah I don't think
Yeah, I'm gonna download it. That sounds awesome.
Stanford grads. Maybe no, maybe um
Oh, but you need. Oh, at least what this is saying is you need your in order to join the network, you have to have a trusted member on the network has to invite you. That's interesting. So in
mm,
order to be added to the network, you have to have
yeah.
a friend that's a
That
part of
increase,
it.
but that increases security.
It does increase security, but barriers to entry is high. Because for example, us three, we might have interest in it now, but if I can't download Pi now, am I really gonna like go out of my way to try to get an invitation?
Well,
Interesting.
I mean, I think that may even increase want because I mean, like they already got 500,000 users in 6 months. I think the fact that you need a trusted user to invite you may increase
Because
like
it's like, oh, I want to get in on
it's
this.
like a
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a private like membership kind of thing.
Mhm. Exclusivity.
hmm
That's interesting. And maybe this is
Yeah.
just a beta phase thing.
So this actually this became this is the brainchild of a class that was taught in 2018.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so apparently it was a class called Decentralized Applications on Blockchain.
Wow.
And it seems that these people who were in it, I'm skimming over this, so I hope I'm not. I'll include this link as well into the bottom of this. Um, I hope this, and I'm not like reading this wrong, but it seems that they got that from that class, and learned that blockchains were able to connect with mainstream audiences.
Hmm.
Um, how no, sorry, excuse me. They saw how inaccessible blockchains were to mainstream audiences, and as well as this is a quote, as well as the difficulty decentralized application developers faced in reaching users.
Mm.
So I guess they made their workaround. I don't know, but it's cool.
Bah, that's interesting.
Okay. Here's the funny guys. This is the last quote. I like to joke that an anthropologist, two computer scientists, and a businessman walked into a bar and asked, "How do we bring the power of cryptocurrency to everyday people?" We all then decided to start a company together and eventually launched Pi Network they launched Pi Network on Pi Day 2019.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
look at
awesome.
them. So
Wow.
they're in phase
Yeah.
1. So it was recent. Because Pi Day was in April.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
so
what?
they're in phase.
No, it
Pi Day's
wasn't.
in April, right?
March.
Am I on correct?
No,
March.
it'd be March.
Pi
3/14.
Day. Oh, you're right.
3/14. Not 4/14.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck.
414.
That's
Like
upsetting. I was so sure that it
You're
was in
so
April.
close. So close,
Just 1
teacher.
month.
You're so close.
It really was. But yeah, so that's it. That's it for the news. That's it. Yeah, that's it for the gaming and cryptocurrency news of the week. If you guys have any final comments, say them now.
I want to
Fine.
see where the innovation goes with cryptocurrency in China and what they're going to do. I want to see how is US going to further restrict or relieve pressure on Libra. What's going to be the innovation with that in response to what China's doing? Because is now the U.S. going to look at themselves and be like, "Well, shit, we kind of messed up here. We need to let Libra fly, and otherwise we're going to get squashed. Or are they going to continue to have restraints?" I want to see what's going to happen there. That's where my eye is on.
Yeah. I guess actually my question would sort of be for this Pi network. It's like, all right, so you got this whole network of trusted people now, and it's a social network, but then what happens next? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
I
What's
think
like? Cause
you
they're
you
only in phase 1,
find
so who knows
you
what?
you yeah. Oh, for like after phase 1, what's going to happen beyond?
Maybe they'll be releasing their own coin unless they already have one, their own token.
So they just made their own blockchain. That's interesting. So they need a blockchain to allow you to mine cryptocurrencies through your trusted social networks. But they
Mm-hmm.
don't have their own currency to facilitate that. Because to me, that seems really
I don't know.
illogical. Because there's tons and tons. Maybe they do. Who knows? Maybe they do. But on the idea that they don't, it would be really strange to me that they would decline to get any entry or any access to all of the utility created through almost creating value behind your social networks in that value being derived from like the security of
I
the
think
like that's
they
interesting.
do have their own coin.
Okay, good.
I
Yeah,
think they
otherwise I'm not
do.
really sure how they would operate
No,
efficiently.
and if they don't now, then I think they may not have one now, but that's the goal. It says the team believes this meritocratic principle, as well as Pi's inclusivity, are positioning it to become the world's most widely used cryptocurrency.
What's a bold statement?
That is a bold statement, especially when they're talking about inclusivity and you have to have a trusted member invite you.
Yeah. Ooh.
I would call that really.
That's a little.
I
That's a
would call it inclusive.
little. There's no matchup.
Yeah, but yeah. So is that it? Is that all you guys have to say?
It's all in my mind.
All
Yep.
right. So as always, thank you guys for listening. And if you do have any questions, comments, or insults, we would absolutely love to hear them and respond to them on our next podcast. If you want to find the links to these articles that we all talked about today, check out our blog on medium.com/GCL Gaming. And until next time.
Peace.